So let's now dig a bit deeper into this text input field and learn how we can configure it. We already set a max length, but I also, for example, want to control which kind of characters can be entered there, or to be precise, I want to control which keyboard I get when I get a keyboard on my mobile device. Because at the moment, as I show you, we get the regular keyboard with all those regular characters, and that's not what I want. Now, text input allows you to control which keyboard is opened by the device. And it can be controlled with the keyboard type prop. Now, this keyboard type prop takes a bunch of values. And it's worth a look at the official docs to understand which values are supported on which platform. If you take a look at the keyboard type prop description in the official docs for the text input, you'll learn that there are a couple of values that work across platforms, and then there are values which are only available on one of the platforms. So for example, URL is supported on iOS devices, but not on Android. Now here I want to use the number pad though, which works across platforms, because this will open up a keyboard that only shows numbers, which is what I want here. So therefore here I'll set keyboard type to number pad. Now there also are a couple of other properties we can set. And you see that there are a lot of props that are supported, and definitely feel free to browse through them to understand which options you have when working with text inputs. Here I, for example, also want to set the auto capitalize option to none. It's not too important when working with numbers, but if this would contain regular text, this would ensure that it's not auto-capitalized. Again, that's not really important here, but I want to show that this kind of prop exists. We also have an autocorrect prop that allows us to turn autocorrection on or off. Because it could, for example, be super annoying if you have a field where users should enter their email and you have auto-capitalization and autocorrection turned on. We all know these input fields where your email address gets corrected and the first character gets capitalized and you have to fix it thereafter. You can avoid such bad user experiences with props like this. Again, for this input, where we only expect numbers, this is not really needed. Now, with that, if we save everything and I go back, you see immediately that on Android, we now get a different keyboard, which only shows us numbers, and it's the same here on iOS. And that is a huge step forward because that is the behavior we want for this input field. And that's, of course, pretty nice to have. Therefore, as a next step, let's leave this input field and let's work on these buttons before we then start working on the layout of this box by making sure that these elements are laid out a bit nicer.